Hello, my name is Ethan, and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Keepers League 3.27. In this episode, I'm doing Blight-Ravaged maps with no towers, full AFK. So I want to go over what I did to make it possible first, and why it's so important. And then I'll mention also some of the biggest takeaways from the league to do it. Okay, so you have Blight-Ravaged, so it's the Uber version of the regular Blight, and they have 200% more monster life, the 20% increased movement speed, the level 85 monsters, the being able to be anointed up to 9 times, and then it also has the modifier map item quantity modifiers also affect the Blight chest count at 50% value. It's higher than the regular Blight maps. Okay, so I added Maim to my chaos build because with attacks supported by Maim, you have a chance to Maim on hit, and then the 30% chance to Maim on hit is maimed enemies have 30% reduced movement speed, which really greatly improves your ability to AFK Blight for the bosses specifically, which are the ones that are the Blight killer, that they destroy your pump because they do 10 damage per and you only have 20 health on the pump, so it's 2 bosses, or one boss called Spore Plume. He's the splitting boss, the one that dupe doubles and turns into 25 bosses, and he will KO your pump just with a single boss because he's actually multiple in one. And then on the quality of Maim support, you can actually get an increased effect of the reduced movement speed, so you get more than 30% reduced. Okay, especially how the map comes with an extra 20% to start. Lowering the move speed really helps. It really helps them not be able to walk around your minions, and they kind of just get body blocked and stuck, and they can't even get to the pump. It's amazing. So the move speed diff is gigantic because pathing. And then to go along with Maim, there's also Hinder, which also reduces the movement speed. So I added on this boot, you can see it, a suffix. I went to the menagerie and I did the venomous, the aspect of the spider, and then I did it with the Black Morgan, so it's the level 30 instead of the level 20. I think it doesn't, that's more for the stacks, not for the slow, but you might as well do the 30 instead of the 20. Like, it's the new one. And then okay, so the aspect, and then you get this. It's aspect of the spider, so while active, periodically applies a spider's web debuff to nearby enemies and hinders them. Each spider web on an enemy increases the damage they take. Hinder reduces their movement speed. So I'm not doing it for the increased damage taken. It is nice, but the main reason is actually hindering nearby enemies. And so it inflicts spider webs and hinder every 1 second. And then yeah, it was 18% reservation with all the reservation efficiency in my build, and all I had to do was take out Flesh and Stone because it's the same amount of reservation, so it just fits. It works perfectly. And in that slot, I just put an extra Maim on my Stone Golem because why not have some extra chance to Maim? So then I'm gonna finally show it. And then a funny thing is, Consecrated Ground doesn't work on Blight maps. There's another thing you'll notice, which I'll just start talking about after, but yeah, I use Sacrifice Fragments for the extra quantity. The extra quality, which is quantity, which then scales the number of Blight chests you get. But also, you'll notice I didn't put any oils on the map. And the reason for that is, how do I say it? They put out a post before saying that Blight Lucky Oil will no longer affect entire lanes, and it is only chests in the lanes. And then you'll see that they buffed Azure and Crimson and Opalescent to affect more chests, because instead of the 20 lanes, and if you just had 20 lucky, that would be every single lane basically, right? Now you see we have like 100 chests, and so if you did 50 Blight chests are lucky, you wouldn't have the whole map. But what they didn't mention is that it actually does still affect all the lanes. When you do lucky, it re-rolls the lane reward, and so I was getting a bunch of like talismans and essence and tons of shit I didn't want. RB fragments, so many dead chests where I'd rather just get the generic item chest, currency chest, oil chest, and then just volatile RNG either way. So I don't oil, and then it also makes the map have better performance because you don't increase the pack size. So you might get a little bit less out of the loot explosion, but a majority of the loot is from the unique and the chests. And I think the blight bosses are unaffected by the pack size, so you still get the same amount of bosses, which should probably still turn into the same amount of uniques, so the amulet, the glove, etc. And then, yeah, your map will perform better. Your loot should be better, unless you like that weird League mechanic loot. I think the other one also resulted in more of the stacked deck, so it was more annoying, especially like, how is that lucky? You can never get a good drop out of the div card chest. It's only a stacked deck every time, consistent, and it's really annoying to loot, so I don't even want that. I'd rather have the really high RNG, volatile, random, no lucky. Okay, so you had no oil. It's actually crazy that it could be anointed 9 times and I'm not even anointing. Then I'll mention, so yeah, this is Blight-Ravaged maps, no towers, AFK. There's a few map modifiers, because I still alk and I still corrupt, so the reason for that is alking for the quantity, because you see we're getting like 100, 91, 88, so this gets you more blight chests, which is more loot, and then corrupting gives you a chance to get tainted oils, which are still extremely valuable. They're over a divine, so you want those, and I believe you can't get them in the regular blight, so they're going to stay valuable. It's like one of the big selling points of running blight maps is the tainted oils, and then that allows you to apply anoints to corrupted items, like how I was able to anoint this one even though it's corrupted. And then okay, so the map mods that can make this harder is, I'll start in order. Increased monster movement speed. So this mod, you can actually roll it. It can give you monster move speed, attack, and cast speed. It's higher than 20. It's like 30. It's pretty high. That one is annoying because if you're needing to reduce their speed just to make it consistent and successful, especially the Spore Plume boss, that dude will wreck your pump. And so, yeah, if we're only reducing by like 30 and the 30 on the hinder, then having an extra 30 move speed on everything on all the bosses is crazy. That's probably like one of the hardest in my opinion for the AFK. The next one was monsters' movement speed cannot be modified below base value. Now, I find personally that this one is still beatable, but it's harder because it also comes with the action speed cannot be modified below base value, so you can't even really use the chill towers either because it's action speed. And then it's still good though, this Maim and the hinder, because you can still remove the 20 move speed that they got. It just can't go below base value. Okay, so that one is annoying, but it's doable still. There's also, now these are just like slightly harder, but not like, I'm still able to do them pretty, like basically consistently, and it's mostly the movement speed stuff is the biggest impact. So 25 monster chaos resistance, because we're a chaos build and we don't delete all chaos res. We have a minus 12 chaos res on the helmet of the animate guardian. And so they would have like 13 chaos res, up to 25 if they still had the, if the animate guardian wasn't there. Also, they can come with some base chaos res on the bosses, like 25. So really they have like 50. And so, yeah, you're not getting them to 0. There's a % more monster life. You see how we have 200%? There's 2 more. There's like a 30 and a 40, so you could get up to 270% more monster life, but this isn't that bad because it's already 200% more, so you have like a 300 base, and so 70 of 300 isn't that much. And then there's hex proof. Oh yeah, we have despair on the glove on the animate guardian. That also removes chaos res, but yeah, they could be hex proof, so you can't remove the chaos res. But yeah, you see the chests. We have barely any of the special chests and quite a few of the currency and item chests. And then you still get stacked decks and stuff, but a lot less of those. And then yeah, there's a lot of RNG. I get a lot of exalted and divines and just raw currency. So I actually think non-lucky chess has a higher chance of a mirror, which is surprising because you would have thought before that the lucky was actually rolling the loot twice of the chess and getting more consistent good drops, but it actually affects the lane loot. And then continue. So hexproof is annoying because, like I said, we have to despair on the animate guardian glove to remove the chaos res. There's also 60% less effect of curse on the monsters, so it's like the hexproof, but it's not as bad. We're not occultists, so you can't curse through hexproof. But the less effective curse, we still have some despair. There's also unique boss has 35% increased life. So I showed how this is 200% more. Well, increased comes before more, or whatever. Like this is a multiplier and the other one is, but it's like this one is additional. It's like increase reduced, and then there's more and less. So it's a different scalar, which means it's exponential. Like it's they multiply each other. So you remember how the more wasn't that effective? Well, 35 increased is. It's actually like 35 more, even though this is 200. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And then the last mod that isn't that bad, but it technically affects it because I might as well mention everything that's relevant. Monsters steal frenzy charges on hit. We get frenzy charges from the carnage chieftains, and it's some extra attack and cast speed, some extra more damage, and so technically the monsters could steal the frenzy charges. It's not bad, but it technically is relevant. And the only map mod I actually skip is cannot regen. And then, yeah, I run everything else. And then knowing that the move speed modifiers are the hardest on the one that you get the move speed. So you already know before you even play the map because you alch and corrupt and you can see the mods. They don't go unidentified. So you'll be able to see that you rolled extra move speed or the... yeah, and then on those, I recommend you use these annoyance. Your chilling towers freeze enemies 0.2 seconds while they're affected by chilling beams, and you can actually get increased range on your chilling tower. So the circle can be pretty big, and then, yeah, you just need like one near the pump, and then it's just good. It can cover like this big of an area. It's actually kind of crazy. And then now I'll talk about my my funniest part of the Blight. This Spore Plume boss is crazy, dude. The fact that a single boss could, when you kill it, spawn basically minion versions of itself up to like 20, and then it could single like do 200 damage to your pump, and then they actually changed it back when Blight first came out so that the Spore Plume would deal less damage with its clones, and it would have reduced move speed, and it would there's like a few things they did, but then when they changed the damage it dealt, that's only to you. Oh, they changed its attack range too, which it's still really far. It can hit your pump from pretty far away, which is kind of scary. But the funny part was they say they made it do less damage, but it was only less damage to you and not the pump. So it still does the 10 damage. And then you can't taunt these bosses either. Like, you can taunt them to make them do less damage to you, but you can't taunt monsters in Blight. They just go to your pump. It's crazy. And then, yeah, the Spore Plume's like the craziest of all the bosses. That's going to be your Blight killer. That's your run ender. That is the doom at the door. And then, yeah, it's so funny that the lucky works that way, that they lied and said it didn't affect the lanes anymore, but it does, and it rerolls the loot chests and gives you more of the league mechanics that you don't even really want, and then I still get pretty good loot. And then on top of it, imagine not having to click an extra 9 times to put the oils on, and then you don't have all that extra pack size, so you don't have the super laggy map. You have better performance. You're chilling. You could put teal oils to make it faster if you don't want to AFK as long, but I just don't even bother and don't even worry about it. Oh shit. Is this and then so Spore Plume is from a fire lane. He's resilient to fire towers. That might be him on the left right there. Yep, it's happening. 2, 3. You see how he can't move? He's doubling. He's splitting. He's coming. Oh no, dude. It's happening. There's 8 of them. Oh god, look at the speed, dude. Ah. 1 hit. Oh man, it's crazy. Even yeah, 1 actually made it still. That's so crazy. It's because I had a multi-directional blight. Like the Dunes is one of the worst maps you could possibly pick for blight because it's in every direction. My minions were dealing with the bottom and the left at the same time, dude. It's actually crazy. Like, technically, if you have them only come from 1 or 2 directions, it's slightly easier because you funnel them and channel them into choke points, and then you can AoE explode with the Animate Guardian. That's one downside of not running the oils, is you have less pack size, so less monsters to explode to kill the bosses, and I think you still have the same number of bosses, especially the Spore Plume. You saw, without giant pack size, he split, dude. He was splitting. Couldn't stop him. And that's where just a little bit of movement speed or even some extra tanky mods could actually make that rip your map still. And so, especially if you're not as juiced as my build currently, and this shows that we could still be a little bit stronger of having a little bit more DPS, but we beat it. We actually beat the Spore Plume. AFK, no towers in the video, dude. It's amazing. Let's get the loot. And you could see how nice the chests are, actually. We got a lot of item chests, currency, oil. You'll pretty consistently get like 3 or 4 oil chests without even running the lucky. And like I say, the lucky is going to give you more of like the Legion chests and Harpy and Fragment and all the weird ones. And this one gives you more generic, like item, armor, jewelry, weapon, currency. And then, yeah, item has pretty consistently been giving me currency, so I almost just think of them as like a not as good currency chest, and I kind of like them a lot, especially for the volatile RNG. I'm going to get no loot this map. Oh, no. But yeah, if you technically want more consistent loot, you could run lucky, but then you get more stacked decks, and that's quite annoying. We'll do one more, since we actually got a fire lane. But yeah, fire lane is Spore Plume, so you can kind of know if you're going to get him or not just based on the lane immunities. We might get 1, and it's at the end. It's actually crazy. Yeah, he's definitely the scariest. And then there's also technically like a Nessa Crab. What was his name? He put on steel skin and he was basically immune while he had the buff, but then it was a 10-second cooldown, and the second the buff comes off, he dies instantly. So I wonder what that steel skin is, because how could he become immune? I want that. I literally couldn't damage him, and then it made me think, like, think of the name Steel Skin. Why was it just like a 2000 buff? Couldn't it have been like giga damage reduction? Basically immunity, but for a very short amount of time, and it's not really a shield, it's more of a steel skin, like your skin goes so... It reminds me of like Warframe. There was this character Rhino, you could like go steel or something. I love that character, it was so tanky. No one expected me to do this next, I don't think. Yeah, we got hexproof on this map. Technically there's the less armor. 16k. And then I had noticed as I made the vid, but I wasn't gonna stop because it's like I was already AFKing these without changing it, but I changed my build to Topaz and Purity of Lightning to make all this work because I wanted the extra suffix, and I needed to fix my resistances that I didn't need the extra cold res, basically. So I changed it that I barely have extra fire now, and especially since we click the altars in the maps for Eater of Worlds, which is minus cold and lightning, I just needed the extra cold and lightning. So it's because of not having the Ulnatel's Vow that amulet that was minus like 30 fire res, I can actually do this. That was holding me back. So by going the +4 with minimum endurance, now I don't have the minus fire, which meant I didn't need the purity of fire, purity of elements, because especially if you get reduced aura effect, your purity of elements won't give you as much elemental resistance, and then I definitely wouldn't have had enough for my fire. With the current, like, how I've min-maxed it, which is having the extra suppress, and then I had to take out the extra life regenerate to have the reses, and I swapped the resistances on the jewels to fire res, so I could still have a little bit extra through the suffixes of my mediums, but it's only a single point, so it's a little bit of extra resistance, but yeah, and then it's not even taking the full large cluster either. But yeah, I switched to Topaz, Purity of Lightning, and then, yeah, you could see our lightning's Giga, and then none of the gear even has lightning, it's just fire and cold, which is really nice. Fire boss hasn't started coming yet. We might have a boss. I think this goes red if you have a boss, so you'll also know, but then you're AFK, so you're not really... Yeah. And just since I went over it pretty quick, I'll say it again just because we have time. The worst mods are monster movement speed, and then monster movement speed cannot be modified below base value, because you saw how fast that thing was, even with... Because, okay, they split, and then think about it, dude. They lost all wither stacks. They lost Intimidate. They lost the Maim. They lost Hinder. You have to reapply this stuff to the freshly summoned minion that summoned off of the Spore Plume. And then it summons like 20 of them, and it has 200% more monster life, and it already has like some ridiculous 60 million HP or something crazy because they're level 85. They're basically uber bosses with extra life and move speed, and they're just going straight to your pump and ignore you. Like, what? What the hell is this, man? It's crazy. It's crazy, dude. Yup. Spore Plume. Oh, we got a boss. Spore Plume's coming. Let's see if we can beat him again, back to back. And then look, worst map, dunes in every direction, 4 at the same time. Oh, I think he's right here. He's splitting. He didn't even make it. He's on another row getting attacked, and he can't even move. Oh, he made it. There's 5 of them. Oh, God, dude. Oh, 1 died. There's so many of them. That guy just skipped the lane completely, dude. Did you see that? He just went, whoop, straight to the bump. They like doing that too still. Because why would they take this route? That's going to take forever. Just go straight to the bump. Oh, he's dead. 1 more. Oh, he's still splitting? God damn. That's where also I think the Animate Guardian can help us with the splitting to explode them. And hopefully get the chance to explode to clear it. It's pretty useful. And one of the nice parts with the Chaos, we could roll Reflect and we don't even have to worry. So really the only mod is cannot regen. And I think you could run cannot regen because I don't seem to be getting hit very much because they seem to have changed stuff. But you want to win, right? Okay, let's get the loot. Stack decks. Stupid ass stack decks, man. You can see the loot though. So yeah, it'll also increase your Abyss chest, the map chest, fossil chest, like I said, Legion. It's pretty weird. And this one you're basically hoping for conch maps, but then you're not even going to get your actual favored map, probably. It could be random because it doesn't obey my atlas of the singular focus, which I think is a good thing because then you get all those extra Shaper, Elder, Conqueror maps, but it would be interesting to get Dunes Conquerors, because that would be nice. Ornate Incubators are always good. That's the best part of the Legion chest. It's the only one I didn't filter. Well, either way, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I'm very excited to see what people say about the not using Lucky Oil. And about our AFK Blight. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. if you've ever done a Blight map, like the video, and if you guys like the video and you're new to the channel and you made it this far, that hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to get notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. But actually, I'm gonna do one more because I had one extra, and this one had unique bosses are possessed, but it actually doesn't do anything either. There's a lot of mods that just don't do anything, so they're just like free quant. But this had the extra life. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 fires. So, dude, imagine 4 Spore Plume. This is the one. But yeah, it's been pretty sick. I've been just spamming Blight-Ravaged maps. Like I say, I've cooked how to do it AFK without towers with our zombie build. Feels good, man. Feels good, man. So enjoyable. It's Blight League, dude. We're back. And then, dude, I can't believe they did the oil thing. Like, why'd they lie? There's a patch, I'm telling you, that said that the oil's lucky no longer affects lanes and it's just chess. And it literally says lucky chess, lucky Blight chess. I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. I have no idea what people are gonna say about that. I thought about posting it as its own video, like, they lied, but I don't see how people are even gonna know what the hell I'm even talking about, where just fitting it in here when I'm just doing my full AFK Blight with no towers, that this people will actually see, where I don't know how they would search for or find, or even know to search for or to find about the lucky chest, basically. Because I figured if I didn't say anything, also, people will be like, where's the anoint, dude? Where's the lucky? Where? So I have to obviously tell people that I haven't been doing it, and I actually, there's a chance, well, it definitely changes what loot you get, and there's a chance it's not even better. It could be worse, because, like, if half your chests turn into Abyss and Harby and a bunch of the fragments, you basically deleted your chance of getting lucky. You can't get anything good. Like, I don't know. The fact that I never got a mirror shard from the Harbies in the juiced King Harbies in the maps, I don't expect to ever get a mirror shard from a Harby chest in Blight. And then you don't have a chance for the Harby shards to upgrade into full. Your tree doesn't affect it. So, like, it's just pretty bad Harby loot. Especially fracturing orbs are super cheap anyways, and I never even see fracturing shards from my Harby chest in Blight. Like, most of the league mechanics from Blight kinda poopy, except for Fossil can give you Prime Chaotic Resonators. Like I said, the map chest could give you the Conqueror maps, which, like, these aren't insane. They're not even over a div, so they're not really great drops, and really, like, lowering your chance of a mirror, which is the real, that's 600 divs, dude. It's 600 divs. It's crazy. I want a mirror. And that's where, this also raises the value of regular Blight maps by knowing that you don't need the anoints for the lucky, and you don't need the higher pack size, and yeah, but people actually want to be able to AFK Blight-Ravaged with the extra 50% chest value. The more chests, that you do get more loot from Blight-Ravaged, but technically if you farmed regular Blight, then you have the chance for dropping Blight-Ravaged maps, which could be the extra loot, but then that's not a big, insane drop. We got a Slug Crusher. He's dead. He got popped. There's also an honorable mention. One of the bosses is a Necromancer, and it actually spawns minions on top of you while you're sitting on the pump. So sometimes you'll randomly lose some of the pump durability, and it's not the Spore Plume, it's not a monster, it's just a monster spawns on top of you and touches the pump instantly. And you're like, what? This is bull. Yeah. Your minion has to be there ready, slamming, and like kill it instantly for it to not just delete some of your pump. But luckily we have 20, a lot of pump durability, and we don't lose any loot for losing some of the pump durability, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, it kind of reminds me of Delirium, where you do Blight and then some monsters spawn on you. But yeah, it's a boss doing it actually. And then yeah, like I said, I didn't try to test for taking out my defenses and going full damage. I still am somewhat tanky, and I just like this, but you maybe could go a bit squishier if you needed a bit more damage to complete these. And then just to show, I have 956 minion damage. This is pretty important, I think, actually. 956 minion damage. It's like 80 minion attack and cast speed from the large clusters. The extra 30 from the wands, and the 16 here. So it's 126 minion attack and cast speed. And my zombie's level 40. Zombie is slamming. I have the Awaken Empower, Awaken Multi, Withering Touch, Awaken Melee Fist, and Awaken Minion damage. And like I say, the main ways I was doing the slow is the Maim and the aspect of the spider. And then my final one was the Animate Guardian with the Explode from the Cane of Coolmac, and then the AoE minion damage, Void Manip, Withering Touch Ring. Because, yeah, it's pretty important for that. It's not just me beating it, but actually letting somebody replicate this and doing it themselves. So knowing how strong my exact version was, where I was at when I was doing this, so you can remake it. I'm glad I did an extra map. Let's get the loot. Boom. The boss was already gone, so I didn't matter. I was just gonna end it. It's basically the bosses. Alright. Ooh, we got a bloodline from my stack deck chest, because you could still get random loot from the chest. You could see how these ones gave me armor and weapons. You do jewelry, and you can get a... you got a jewel. Gems from your item. Black oil. If you like clicking stack decks, you could still do lucky. Might be more consistent loot, but then, yeah, less volatile, like less chance of getting giga lucky, I'm pretty sure. It's also a lot less clicks per map, a lot less cost. Like if you added triple opalescent, triple crimson, triple azure every map, it adds quite a lot of cost to your map. Like 40 to 50 C. It's more than the map.